For me, the word international is important. I think for many of us who live in a very privileged environment that we tend to forget the struggles that are happening in a global context. There's celebration here for many of our accomplishments and successes, but I think there's still a level of awareness and accountability that we need to remain cognizant of.
So this is a powerful reminder not only for ongoing struggles of women around the world, but it also celebrates their achievement. Over a century now we are celebrating this day, and we have achieved a lot, and we still have a long way to go.
Celebrating the women in my life that I love, my mom, my sister, my grandma, my friends. I have all the women before me to thank for where I am today and the rights that I have now and what we're continuing to fight for.
I think gender equality has gone from being a special topics course to actually sort of woven into the very fabric of how we approach social problems, how we approach research. So I think we can acknowledge that as a success, but gender itself has become an area of conversation and contestation. So it's always a changing dimension of our work. But I think it's become a very exciting place where young women in particular have much to bring to the conversation about the complexity of gender.
It's definitely something that's shedding light on some struggles that women have had that men may or may not have had, and even not just women versus men, but any kind of gender inclusivity in terms of marginalized communities, trans communities, LGBT communities. There's a lot of overlap in these kinds of things. So I think any of these sorts of things are fairly important to mark and to reflect on. And particularly in certain industries, being a student, in sciences and a lot of tech industries, it can be, historically has been harder for women to break in. And we're starting to see a trend the other direction, which is really exciting.
We need to develop curriculum, we need to develop an environment where not only gender issues are being discussed, where we have unconscious biases, where we have systematic discrimination. We need to address those issues.
I think universities are complicated places in the sense that they are historically and traditionally very male-dominated, and women have had a long road into universities and to claim their rightful place. I think we still have work to do, obviously, especially with regards to our inclusion of Indigenous women scholars in our workplace. But also I think there's a recognition, I think, within post-secondary that women have made inroads. I sit at tables with many women and recognize that the significance of that, but that should not erase the fact that we have to ask some hard questions about how women generally are doing within institutions. Are they being treated with respect? Are their workloads manageable? Are they progressing through the ranks as they should?
And this day is important in a sense that it pressurizes governments to make changes in law, to make constitutional changes in order to make sure that women representation is there, women's rights are being protected through constitutions. We need to make sure that women are represented in every organization, in every aspect of life. We need to set these goals that if women are more than 50% of world's population, women should be presented at every level to 50%. So these goals, having that accountability and transparency is important.
I think it's just important for a day of, as I said, celebration and solidarity, but also recognition of where people continue to need each other.
I feel really grateful to have the right to vote and all the things women weren't allowed to do before. Going forward, I think just empowering other women around me and being empowered by other women is such a beautiful thing.